What's up, guys? So I wanted to do a video on the topic of, are we evolving to some perfect form? Is that what evolution is? A bunch of species that are very different, but they're all racing to evolve to some ultimate form that can combat anything, that can be resilient to every form of attack or obstacle. And are we just evolving to some sort of malleable super being or super robot? And before I did this video, I actually searched it on YouTube because I would have thought this topic would have been covered by some big prominent YouTuber already, like Vsauce, who has like tens of millions of subscribers, but apparently it wasn't. And so my humble answer is no, that's not how it works. And I'll give you a very simple example to illustrate this. Black and white butterflies. This is a real life example. And long story short, what occurred is the trait that wins out is simply the one that lucked out, wherein the environment it was born just happened to allow that trait to flourish versus the other trait. And so in one scenario, the white butterflies flourished and reproduced, and the black butterflies could barely scrape by, and then the environment switched and the reverse happened. And it wasn't like one form was completely better in all forms of attack or obstacles than the other, or this form was superior. And so to illustrate, what occurred was that these white butterflies lived in an environment where they landed on white colored trees. The bark was white, and therefore they could camouflage into the environment, and the predators who ate the butterflies had a harder time of spotting these versus the black. And so the black were being eaten out and the white butterflies flourished. They passed on their genes to their offspring, and it flourished. The trait flourished. However, what occurred though was factories were created and black smog enveloped the trees, causing their bark to become black now. This change in the environment, it's a real case study, flipped the scenario, so now the black butterflies camouflage better and the white ones ended up dying a lot. And so that's the general concept of how it works. So you can see that there isn't really a superior form, it's just luck of the draw of the environment, really, in certain ways. More so than that though, what is occurring here is that the ones that survive pass on their traits to their offspring. And how it works is generally on a simplistic level, it is a dominant / recessive trait where the trait that's being selected against, in this case the white butterfly, since they were no longer camouflaged, that won't be completely extinguished because of that recessive nature. So it's always there in the programming of the genetics if need be. However, the black butterflies predominate because it is the dominant trait. And what happens if the recessive trait is the one that flourishes? Well, it will still be passed on more because of the same laws. However, what you'll find as you get more advanced is that it's not the simple dominant recessive trait. It's sometimes there's mixes of things. So because of this, you get very advanced sort of stuff where traits will skip generations, or sometimes rather than black and white always reoccurring, you may get shades of gray, and you get all this advanced sort of stuff. And at the end of the day, I do have to add a disclaimer saying that there is a possibility, a chance that certain things do end up over millions of years evolving towards organisms who are just very well able to combat multitudes of different environments because of lots of evolution. And one could argue that it is superior in many ways to a more simplistic version or species that occurred hundreds of thousands of years prior. And There's obviously many mammalian examples of this, but again, I could pull them out and you probably wouldn't recognize them, whether it's raccoons of some sort or some other animal. But the advent and emergence of Homo sapiens as a species poses a new thing, because our intellect has in fact made us, and one could argue, dramatically superior in many ways to many forms of obstacles that attempt to wipe us out as a species, in a variety of ways. The advent of vaccination has extended our lives twofold almost, and protected us from dramatic obstacles trying to kill us off, in addition to many other materials and goods that we've invented. I could go on, from the clothes we buy to the houses we live in to all the accessories and bigger items like vaccinations, antibiotics, and so forth. And so, as a species, one could argue that we are superior in many ways, but if you really look at it from a macroscopic scale, as arrogant as we get as a species, we are still very susceptible to multiple forms of attack or methods of wiping us out as a species. So we're not like invincible at all. In fact, a large enough rock hurtling from space could in fact delete us completely. Maybe not completely, but you get the idea. A dramatic flood of some sort, or something that we can't predict or detect ahead of time early enough to stop it, that could dramatically affect us. And so it is very interesting, and that's all I really want to say. As always, if you like this video, please share with someone you think would be influenced by it. And as always, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, and it will tell you when my next video is released. See you guys later.